So we're in Matthew the 24th chapter 7th verse. It says, "For nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom." So we see that's like wars and rumors of wars. Nation against nation and kingdom against kingdom. And there shall be famines, food shortages. That's why you got to prepare, people. You gotta get some food, get some extra food, stock up on some food. Don't wait till the last minute. If you go to the store and nothing's there, all the shelves are empty. You see what's going on right now. It's worse in a lot of places. So whatever you can get, you got to sacrifice, stack up on food, because there's going to be food shortages. Trucks not going to be bringing the food in. Shelves going to be empty. And pestilences. We're dealing with a pestilence right now. This plague, they call it the coronavirus. There's going to be many plagues that the Most High going to bring on this earth. And earthquakes in diverse places. Earthquakes happen in different places all over the world. Places that don't even have earthquakes. Now they having earthquakes. Isn't that something? I remember they had an earthquake in New York. People in Times Square running out in the middle of the street. What's going on? Unbelievable. Ohio and down south, everywhere. All over the world, diverse places. You look it up. Earthquakes happening all the time in different places. All these are the beginning of sorrows. It's just the beginning of sorrows. Go to the book of Luke, the 17th chapter. And we're going to read from 26 to 30. Luke, the 17th chapter. And verse 26. "And as it was in the days of Noah, so shall it be also in the days of the Son of Man," when the Mashiach shall come back. What was happening? They did eat, and they drank, they married wives, they were given in marriage until the day that Noah entered into the ark. They was doing all this, having a good time, drinking and eating, marrying them, until the day that Noah entered into the ark. And the flood came and destroyed them all. You hear that? Destroyed them all. Likewise also, as it was in the days of Lot. They did eat, they drank, they bought, they sold, they planted, they builded. But the same day that Lot went out of Sodom, it rained fire and brimstone from heaven and destroyed them all. It rained fire and brimstone from heaven and destroyed them all. See, that's why you got to understand and understand who we dealing with. See, people underestimate the Most High. Don't really know the Most High. Let me give you a prime example of who I'm talking about when I say the Most High. You hear me saying a lot. Show you his power, what he could do. If I can find a case scenario that you can relate to, hopefully you can relate to this. Look at go to Joshua, the 10th chapter. You know, Joshua is the one that brought us into the promised land. Well, Joshua and Caleb, they were the only ones of the adults out of 600,000 men army that the Most High allowed to go into the promised land. That's when people thinking they all that, they this, that, the third, whatever. When the Most High said, "Dare not make thyself one of the righteous." And he say, the righteous scarcely going to be saved in our day, our time, waiting to go into the kingdom. Right? He killed all the women, all the adult women. He just allowed the children that we had in those 40 years to go into the kingdom. Don't get it twisted. This is the Most High. Listen. Go to Joshua the 10th chapter. And let's start at verse verse 7. So Joshua ascended from Gilgal, he and all the people of war with him, and all the mighty men of valor. So he had all the mighty men of war, warriors, Israelite warriors. And the Most High said unto Joshua, fear them not. Don't be afraid of them. Don't be scared of them. For I have delivered them into thine hand. They still exist. But the Most High said, don't fear them, for I have delivered them into thine hand. There shall not a man of them stand before thee. See, not a man gonna stand before him. Joshua therefore came unto them suddenly, and went up from Gilgal all night. And the Most High discomfited them before Israel, and slew them with a great slaughter at Gibeon, and chased them along the way that goeth up to Beth-horon, and smote them to Azekah. This is the Most High doing this. And unto Makkedah. Listen, and it came to pass, as they fled from before Israel, they running from us. We ain't lift up a hand to fight no one. That's why I say you got to deal with the Most High. I always say that. And it came to pass, as they fled from before Israel, and were in going down to Beth-horon, that the Most High cast down great stones from heaven upon them unto Azekah, and they died. You hear that? I'll read you again. And it came to pass, as they fled from before Israel, and were in going down to Beth-horon, that the Most High, he the power of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, that's his name forever, from world of all generations, Jacob being the forefather of the 12 tribes of Israel, that the Most High cast down great stones from heaven upon them unto Azekah, and they died. They died. They were more which died with hailstones than they whom the children of Israel slew with the sword. You hear that? He killed more of them with hailstones than the children of Israel killed with the sword. Listen to power of Joshua, through the power of the Most High. About showing myself a shot. Then spake Joshua to the Most High in the day when the Most High delivered up the Amorites before the children of Israel. And he said in the sight of Israel, Sun, stand thou still upon Gibeon, and thou, moon, in the valley of
as joined
Ajalon. And the sun stood still, and the moon stayed, until the people had avenged themselves upon their enemies. You hear that? It was daylight, no night, as we killing our enemies through the power of the Most High. And the sun stood still, and the moon stayed, until the people had avenged themselves upon their enemies. Is not this written in the book of Joshua? So the sun stood still in the midst of heaven, and hasted not to go down about a whole day. And there was no day like that before it or after it, that the Most High hearkened unto the voice of a man, for the Most High fought for Israel. See, that's what I say. You got to deal with the Most High. And don't forget about him. Remember he said we made him jealous, provoked him to anger. Now it's time to make him happy. make him rejoice over us by doing what he say do. He said, you keep my commandments, I'm going to bless you to be what? Above all nations of the earth. And that's where we at right now. So, from there, let's look at Luke 17-29. Well, let's read about Lot. Verse 28. Likewise, also, as it was in the days of Lot, they did eat, they drank, they bought, they sold, they planted, they builded, doing all these things as they doing now. But the same day that Lot went out of Sodom, it rained fire and brimstone from heaven. We just read about how he brought hell to kill all these men of war. So he rained fire and brimstone from heaven and destroyed them all, killed them all. Even thus shall it be in the day when the Son of Man is revealed. You hear that? He coming with fire. He coming with fire. That's why we gotta be ready. I want to look at going back to Matthew 24:3. It says, and as he sat upon the Mount of Olives, the disciples came unto him privately, saying, Tell us, when shall these things be, and what shall be the sign of thy coming and of the end of the world? Right? So, when you go to, right quick, 2nd Esdras, go to the book of 2nd Esdras, the 6th chapter and the 7th verse. 2nd Esdras 6 and 7, because they asked them, when shall be the end of the world? Right? So 2nd Esdras 6 and 7 says, Then answered I and said, What shall be the parting asunder of the times? The same thing. Or when shall be the end of the first, and the beginning of it that followeth, right? Beginning of this world that we're in now, and the beginning of the world that's going to follow. Like they asked them in Acts the 1st chapter, the 6th verse, not knowing, the truth. Because they asked him, are you going to restore the kingdom to Israel at this time? We hadn't went through the curses of Deuteronomy 28th chapter, from 15 to 68 as of yet. It was under the Romans, but they hadn't went through what we were going to go through in coming on slave ships. We hadn't went through that as a people. So I got to mute this because I keep hearing sounds. That's why I muted in the first place.
Q&A mode on.
So
Participants may now unmute themselves.
So 2nd Esdras 6 and 7 says, Then answered I and said, What shall be the parting asunder of the times, or when shall be the end of the first, this world we living in now, and the beginning of it that followeth? That's the world to come, the kingdom. That's going to be restored to Israel, to Israelites, under the power of the Most High and the Mashiach Yahushua. So it says, verse 8, And he said unto me, From Abraham unto Isaac, when Jacob and Esau were born, going all the way back to Abraham, our forefather, who had Isaac. Isaac had Jacob and Esau, going all the way back to Genesis 25 and 25 and 26, when Jacob and Esau were born. Like he said, when Jacob and Esau were born, of Isaac, Jacob's hand held first the heel of Esau. They was fighting in the womb. For Esau is the end of the world. So what's that saying? Esau would have to be ruling at the end of the world. And Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth. So we got next. Simple as that. Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth. Proving that, go to Daniel 7:18. Which a lot of things have to happen before this. But in the end, he said, Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth. So Daniel 7:18. But the saints of the Most High, we define the saints in Psalms 148:14 already. But the saints who are the 12 tribes of Israel, 1/3, mind you, of the Most High, shall take the kingdom and possess the kingdom forever, even forever and ever. We got next, forever and ever and ever. Verse 27. And the kingdom and dominion and the greatness of the kingdom under the whole heaven shall be given to the people of the saints of the Most High, who are the 12 tribes of Israel, whose kingdom is an everlasting kingdom, and all dominions shall serve and obey him. You know? All dominions gonna serve and obey him. Simple as that. So we didn't follow the Most High since we're in Daniel. Go over to the next chapters. Go to sad. Daniel's 9 and 11. Daniel's 9 and 11. Remember, Moses told us as Israelites, he was only talking to us as Israelites. He said, you keep my commandments, I'm going to set you above all nations of the earth. So Daniel's 9:11 tells us what we did. Yeah, all Israel have transgressed thy law. All Israel transgressed the Most High's law, even by departing from the Most High's laws, that they might not obey thy voice. When he told us to obey his voice, he will set us above all nations of the earth. That they might not obey thy voice. Therefore the curse is poured upon us, and the oath that is written in the law of Moses, the servant of the Most High, because we have sinned against him. So we went to the future. That's the future for the righteous. Those that's going to come back to the law, statutes, commandments of the Most High, have faith in the Most High, and have the true testimony of Mashiach Yahushua, cry to the Most High, fear the Most High, keep his commandments, his rules and regulations. Because we have sinned against him. So you look at all the things that we're going through because we sinned against the Most High from the beginning. Most people don't even think about him. They look at what's in it for you. What can he do for me? What if he don't answer my prayer? Should I believe in him? Or you got to believe in yourself? Unless you know you are jacked up because you don't want to believe in him. And you got to depend on somebody else. One way or another. Whether it's a person that's paying you on your job or whatever means of income you have or means to be able to survive is depending on someone else. And that's real. Them curses go for anyone that's an Israelite. I don't care because you ain't growing your own cotton. You ain't got your own cows and that you selling to everybody. Beef and chickens and all of that. You ain't got all that. That you selling to the nation. You got your own big giant corporations that's all over selling things all over the world that we benefiting from. I don't think so. Them curses will apply to us. Verse 12, he have confirmed his words, He have confirmed his words. See, people hear this and they like, oh, y'all still think it's a religion, huh? Better think again. Look, Numbers 23 and 19. He said he have conformed his words, right? Numbers 23 and 19. The Most High is not a man that he should lie. You hear what he said? He's not a man that he should lie. Neither the Son of Man that he should repent. Has he said, and shall he not do it? Or hath he spoken, and shall he not make it good? What did he say? Daniel 9 and 12. And he hath confirmed his words, which he spake against us, and against our judges that judged us, by bringing upon us a great evil. By bringing upon us a great evil. For under the whole heaven hath not been done as has been done upon Jerusalem. Us, we as the children of Israel. As it is written in the law of Moses, all this evil is come upon us, yet made we not our prayer before the Most High our power, that we might turn from our iniquities, we might turn from being wicked as ever, and understand thy truth. And you know the truth. You should know that by heart. Psalms 119, 142. We can sing that together, can't we? Since Psalms are songs, thy righteousness is an everlasting righteousness, and thy law is the truth. I mean, and understand thy truth. Understand his truth. We didn't do it. Therefore, Jeremiah 17 and 14. See, the thing about it, we look for salvation in the things that's for the future, but we did something that allowed these other nations to rule over us for being wicked, breaking the laws of the Most High. Look, Jeremiah 17:4. And thou, even thyself, Israelites, shall discontinue from thine heritage that I gave thee. You're going to discontinue from the land of Israel. That's vast land too. It's a lot of land, more so than that little state of Israel that you see on the map that they show you now. You know, we went all the way to what they would call the Persian Gulf, from in Africa, from the Nile River, all the way to the Persian Gulf, which is the Euphrates. Used to be the Euphrates, right there, man. We got all that land in between there. He gave us. That's why I say, and thou, even thyself, shall discontinue from thine heritage that I gave thee, and I will cause thee to serve thine enemies, not your friends, but to serve thine enemies in a land which thou knowest not. Hear that? In a land that we knoweth not, for ye have kindled a fire in mine anger, which shall burn forever. Shoot, man. So, who did he sell us to? He said he sold us to our enemies. So what's the characteristics of our enemies? Ezekiel 7:24. Ezekiel 7:24. Wherefore I will bring the worst of the heathen. Hear that? Say, I'm going to bring the worst. This is, he telling us this in captivity. Ezekiel telling us, come back to the word of the Most High. Come back to his laws, his rules and regulations. He said, wherefore I will send the worst of the heathen, and they shall possess their houses. I will also make the pomp of the strong to cease, and their holy places shall be defiled. Destruction cometh, and they shall seek peace, and there shall be none. You hear that? Just like now, destruction's coming, y'all, and you're going to seek peace and ain't going to find none. If you don't have a relationship with the Most High, if you don't come back to righteousness, keeping his rules and regulations, destruction cometh. It's coming. They talking about civil war in America. That could be right around the corner. Days away. And they say it ain't gonna be nothing like nothing you ever seen. Not no riots or any of that nature. Like nothing you ever seen. Destruction cometh, and they shall seek peace, and there shall be none. Mischief shall come upon mischief, and rumor shall be upon rumor. Running their mouth about this and that, you can see all kind of things coming up. Just like it is now. Then shall they seek a vision of the prophet. But the law shall perish from the priests, and counsel from the ancients. See? That's why we have to instill as much as we can of this truth in us before these times get worse and worse and worse. And we look around, we trying to figure out what to do. He telling us this, but he know who he's telling. He know who he's talking to. See, a lot of you don't know. You think, oh, you hear this and it's like you're still in a religious type of mindset, like, oh, I just call on the Lord, I'm gonna be saved. Think you better think again. You better think again and real hard, because this is what he said. Go to Ezekiel, the 3rd chapter. The 3rd chapter, verse 4. And he said unto me, Son of man, go, get thee unto the house of Israel, and speak with my words unto them. Say, go to the Israelites and speak my words unto them, unto the Israelites. For thou art not sent to a people of a strange speech and of a hard language, but to the house of Israel. So all of Israel going to understand the speech that we're speaking as we speak to the 12 tribes of Israel that's scattered among all nations. Not too many people of a strange speech and of a hard language, whose words thou cannot understand. Surely had I sent thee to them, to these other nations that speak different languages that he confounded during the Tower of Babel, they would have hearkened unto thee. Hear that? You hear what he said? If I'd have sent you to these other nations, they'd have listened. But the house of Israel will not hearken unto thee. Hear that? Said the whole house of Israel ain't gonna listen to us. He said, ain't listen to us. But they will not hearken unto me. They ain't gonna listen to me. Because the men are the Most High's hand. And you have men bringing forth his word, like Ezekiel, and we just bring the word today. He said, but the house of Israel will not hearken unto thee. So they ain't gonna listen to you, but they will not hearken unto me. We just read how they ain't listen to the voice of the Most High. Well, they will not hearken unto me, for all the house of Israel are impudent and hard-hearted. You hear what he said? Impudent and hard-hearted. Bunch of silly, stupid people. And hard. You just can't get into their mind. They tunnel brain. Got steel on each side of their brain. Can't nothing penetrate. That's what he's saying. But listen to what he said. Behold, I have made thy face strong against their faces, and thy forehead, that's your mind, strong against their foreheads, however they think. As an adamant harder than flint have I made thy forehead. Our minds to be able to deal with all things in all seasons. Why, you see, we out there dropping this truth, and here, there, and everywhere. Say, fear them not. Say, don't fear them. Neither be dismayed at their looks. They look at you all crazy, but they're going to do something, though they be a rebellious house. Hear that? So, that's us. So they ain't going to listen to you because they won't listen to the Most High. So, we ain't listen. So he said he's the worst of the heathen. The Edomites. And they possess our houses. Song of Three Holy Children. We already knew this. I mean, this is like something that he told us And the majority of us was the 2/3. Didn't want to hear nothing. They want to hear it then. They want to hear it now. Song of Three Holy Children. He told us this. Verse 9. And thou didst deliver us into the hands of lawless enemies. Lawless enemies. Most hateful forsakers of the Most High. Now you go to Psalms 83rd chapter. You should know all them nations. He named nations that are the haters and the enemies of the Most High and the Mashiach Yahushua. Nations. So he said, and thou didst deliver us into the hands of lawless enemies. What nations are following the laws of the Most High outside of the 12 tribes of Israel? Who? Name them. You can't say the Jewish people because they believe in the Tanakh. They believe in the Kabbalah and the Talmud. What that's in the Bible. So who you gonna go to next? Since y'all say they're the chosen people, in y'all religious obscurity of a mind, or just thinking backwards in gross darkness, gross ignorance, gross confusion, gross not knowing this truth or this what this Bible is talking about. It's sad, man. It says, and thou didst deliver us into the hands of lawless enemies, most hateful forsakers of the Most High, and to an unjust king, no matter who's in charge. What the Most High said, to an unjust king, and the most wicked in all the world. You know? The most wicked in all the world. I mean, this happened to us. Because, look at verse 5. Song of Three Holy Children, verse 5. In all the things that thou hast brought upon us, and upon the holy city of our fathers, even Jerusalem, thou hast executed true judgment. Because he told us he's going to do the things he's going to do us. Kick us out of the land and scatter us amongst all these nations. True judgment he brought upon us, the 12 tribes of Israel. For according to truth and judgment, didst thou bring all these things upon us because of our sins. And sin is the transgression of the Most High's laws. He brought these things upon us because of our sins. And we have sinned and committed iniquity, departing from thee. See? Departing from the Most High by not doing what he say do. And all these, in all things have we trespassed, and not obeyed thy commandments, nor kept them, neither done as thou hast commanded us, that it might go well with us. Wherefore all that thou hast brought upon us, and everything that thou hast done to us, thou hast done in true judgment. Did he say he brought the worst of the heathen? Did he say, and thou did deliver us into the hands of lawless enemies, right? So when you look at Wisdom of Solomon 5 and 7, this is what they're going to say. When salvation coming to the Israelites, and we say the saints shall take the kingdom we got next, this is what they're going to say. It tells you what they're going to say. When you read Wisdom of Solomon, the 5th chapter, from 2 on to 7 on down, it tells you, we wearied ourselves in the way of wickedness and destruction. We have gone through way deserts where there lay no way. As for the way of the Most High and the Mashiach Yahushua, we have not known it. That's why he call them lawless enemies. In Psalms 83, call them the haters of the Most High. Nations. So you figure. So let's go to some prophecy. Go to 2nd Ezra, 15th chapter and 14th verse. 2nd Ezra 15 and 14. Woe means destruction to the world and them that dwell therein. You know, because you look at that, what the devil said, Revelation 12 and 12. Therefore rejoice, ye heavens, and ye that dwell in them. Woe, destruction to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea. For the devil is come down unto you, having great wrath. Why? Because he knoweth that he hath but a short time. Short time, y'all. He coming down with much wrath. So I say, woe, destruction to you. Destruction is come, destruction is come. They shall seek peace, and there shall be none. You can't cry to the Most High. You ain't been crying to the Most High. You ain't been trying to seek truth. All of a sudden, now you're going to seek truth? No. Verse 17. And the dragon, which is the devil, the serpent, and Satan, and Esau, and the beast, all of them is red. And the dragon was wroth with the woman. The woman represent the Israelites. Jeremiah 6 and 2. I have likened the daughter of Zion, who we are, the 12 tribes of Israel, symbolically, to a comely, beautiful, and delicate woman. So the dragon was wroth with the woman. We wroth with the Israelites. Which ones, though? And went to make war with the remnant of her seed. That's the 1/3. They're going to try to make war with the remnant of her seed, which keep the commandments of the Most High. So they ain't talking about no religious people. Because you a Baptist, what are you getting ready for now? What's the holiday that you're getting ready for now? You Jehovah's Witness. What's the holiday you're getting ready for now? And when is it? You are, who else? Catholic, Church of God in Christ. Talking to the leaders, because the leaders cause our people to err. So what are you getting ready to celebrate now? What's coming up? That you're getting all built up to celebrate. You got the people celebrating it. Would it be Christmas? Jeremiah 10, 1-5 say the Christmas tree is an idol. You don't believe it? When you want to put your presents under the tree, you got to bow down to that idol. When you get your presents from under the tree, you got to bow down. Especially you throw them all the way to where the stump is. You got to bow down. You don't stand up. Anywhere you go, you're going to bow down because it's on the floor. Even if you stand up and pick them up from standing up position and go down, you're going to still bow down. To pick those presents up, or bow down on your knees and put your face down on the earth to the floor to get them out from under there. Put them under there, get them from under there. I mean, you ought to think, man. It's like they got us all twisted, man. But he's coming down. He went to make war with the remnant. That's 1/3 of the 12 tribes of her seed, which keep the commandments of the Most High and have the testimony of a Mashiach Yahushua. That's what they want to come against. But they don't know. They don't know that there is something they got to deal with when they attempt to come against the remnant. Because Most High going to have his remnant. Like you have a remnant of all nations. He going to kill all nations. He going to have a remnant of all nations. They can serve us in the kingdom. In a righteous kingdom, though. That's why I say people are all twisted thinking that you think our kingdom going to be like the kingdom that you're in and what you've done to the Most High's chosen. Oh, payback going to be something else, but you got to deal with, when he come down, when he do that, when he try and do that, say that's what he going to attempt to do, right? Go to Ecclesiastes 39 and 28. There be spirits. Ecclesiastes 39 and 28. There be spirits, these angels, that are created for vengeance, which in their fury lay on sore strokes. You got to fight this. In the time of destruction, they pour out their force and appease the wrath of him that made them. The Most High made these spirits, these angels. Listen, fire, you got to fight fire. And hell, you got to fight hell. We just read about hell. The Most High brought hail down and killed all the men. And famine. He said it's going to be famine, food shortages, and death. These are death angels. All these were created for vengeance. Teach the wild beasts, the scorpions, serpents, and the sword, punishing the wicked to destruction. They shall rejoice in the commandment, and they shall be ready upon earth. Yeah, they're ready right here on this earth. When need is, when the Most High say, go deal with them. And they have to deal with them when they come against what it tells you in Revelation 12 and 12 and Revelation 12 and 17. Against those that keep the commandments of the Most High. They shall rejoice in his commandment, and they shall be ready upon earth when need is, and when their time is come, when the Most High say, get them. They shall not transgress his word. They ain't going to transgress the Most High's word. They're going to do exactly what he wanted to do. Beautiful. So, keep in mind, Yasharallah, why it's so important for us to keep his laws and be righteous and fear the Most High first and foremost. Don't get it twisted. You got to fear him. You got to be afraid and change. It's all about change. So as you change, you become a better person in the eyes of the Most High. Who cares about how man look at you? Because man don't really care. All he care about is what have you done for me lately? Really, you know. Psalms 37 and 9. Well, let's read verse 8. Cease from anger, Yasharallah, and forsake wrath. Fret not thyself in any wise to do evil. Don't be trying to think about doing evil against your brothers and sisters. For evildoers shall be cut off. You hear that? For evildoers shall be cut off. All these one conniving and want to be evil, they're going to be cut off. But those that wait upon the Most High and the Mashiach Yahushua to bring forth what he just said the angels going to do, they shall inherit the earth. Going to inherit the earth. For yet a little while, just a little while, as we look at that now, and the wicked shall not be. Little while and the wicked shall not be. Yeah. Thou shalt diligently consider his place, and it shall not be. Don't that sound good? But the meek, the humble, the ones that's humble shall inherit the earth. So all you proud suckers out there, get ready for the hellfire. Because he said, but the meek shall inherit the earth and shall delight themselves in abundance of peace. Yes. So look at Psalm 34 and 7. So you know the angels, they're on the earth, waiting on the commandment of the Most High to bring forth vengeance. Psalm 34 and 7. The angel of the Most High, Psalm 34, 7. The angel of the Most High encampeth round about them that fear him. You hear that? It say that fear him. If you fear him, you're afraid of him, you're scared of him, you're going to do what he say do. You're going to follow his commandments.